Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Tokarian series here on the Lore Master channel, in which I thought about long and hard regarding the future of this realm, a realm within a realm, so per se, because we've been ruled by the Saka for at least a few decades now, and I'm starting to think that with them continuing to try to spread their culture into my lands, including here in Croran itself, our capital here. And I really do not like that. Because I'd rather keep this culture the same as it was. And now I got a problem with you. Originally, my plan was to, just wait it out till you're next there as he grows up. Even though I've come to the realization that he's gluttonous, which doesn't do good for stewardship. Because I was supposed to be raising him as a guardian. And he's already stressed. And he picked up Confida, which is good, actually. So, at least he'll have things that'll give it a stress easy. What? Damn it. I forgot to give him a guardian, which should have been me. I was supposed to raise him and all that, but him being a genius, this will not deter from this. And knowing that this is a sin for Theravadins, wish he was more temperate. But we'll have to worry about that later. But now, I'm gonna do something that may... Oh gosh, I don't know. This is probably both a good idea and a bad idea at the same time. I am going to get that claim for the throne. It'll take us a long time. But the real question is, what's their spy master skill? 20. Oh, crud. I don't know if that's a good idea because, now the other alternative is to, just claim the Liege title and come get it. You got this man who's a spy master, which you cannot get rid of him. No. No way, no how. But he likes him well enough. As he is the master of intrigue, as he is a seducer and a torturer. Not to mention a landed character there too. So I think we should just at least give it a shot. There's only one other. Glad we are like-minded colleagues. Since you like me well enough, maybe you should work for me. Just by befriending. Now. There's only one other person. Oh, really? Get the spy master on our side. Claims you had nothing to gain. Well, forget about the friendship offer. Another 30 years? Okay, never mind. I guess we will be friends then. Okay. Bribery is one thing, but it is another to, And in case of a possible war, I guess we might as well start building up the strength of the Coranian military. I'll be sure to start saving up money to increase the size of the siege weapons as well. So we are including camel riders, as they will be effective in the desert. Especially on our way over there to Havana, in case there's going to be war. All I need is a claim on the throne, and then after that, I am going to have a claimant faction. That's what we should do. Let us pray together in gratitude. Again, I am not sure about this idea. Try to... Oh, and another thing. Where is it? There you are. It was originally going to be 4 years, but now it'll take slightly less time. 57% chance of progress. Pay homage, petition age. Oh, he's turned 16 now. A tough soldier. That means he's likely to lead the army should there be a possible war. My efforts to get close to Raspura Simha has proven challenging, in no small part because of the pressure he is struggling to deal with. Perhaps it would aid me in more ways if I were to share a day by himself, where he could spend time with carefree courtiers, away from the stuffy council rooms and dusty administrative records. This will require a lot, but it'll be worth it. I'm getting stressed for this, but it'll be worth it at the end. Dharma's seems to be having a difficult time in our leaves. He sneaked out our leaves, not seeming to tell us the evening. Oh no, we do not want you to be a big sinner. And shy is worse. If you had things to do those instead. To me, I thought he would be the one, but I'm sorry that I neglected you. Look at you. You are a sinner. Trusting, compassionate planner. Compassionate, my eye! You frown at moderation and you want things that should happen fast. Damn it, son. I'm sorry about that. It makes me think that he's the better candidate now. And what do you see in this girl? She's way older than you. Break that betrothal. I'll find you a right spouse immediately. Ideally an alliance. A case of possible conflict with the Vijaya. I don't like that. You may not like this suggestion because she is spindly, but this is for the alliance. We got Kasha with us. Now we need our Chinese neighbor over there to be on our side as well. In case of tensions that may escalate. Still inferior, but got a lot of cavalry. Whereas our camels counter against the cavalry, light cavalry. Is that so? Rough terrain expert. Wow. And ever since we adopted that cultural tradition regarding Dragon warriors, it really helps. And plus, it is his culture. Some commander traits personalities have extra mountain bonuses, which explains why he has a battle roll in Desert Mountains and Mountains part. That explains it. And again, we want the throne. This is in response of him trying to spread his culture into my lands. And it kind of makes me think that if we were to go to the high medieval or Mexican culture traditions, you would think the next thing I would go for is, okay, let me just look for example, not changing it. Where is it? Staunch traditionalist, maybe. Hybrid culture, much harder to hybridize. No, that's not one of them. Convert to local culture decision cost. No, not that. Because I'm looking for something that features things that are more resistant to promote culture. Like being promoted by, I should say. That's religion related. But I need a cultural equivalent, not a religious equivalent. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But I will tell you. That would be ideal, but I don't think that's really that much big of a deal. The heck? I would say there probably is, but I'll probably have to look them up myself rather than just try to spend enough time here of the something that they have equivalent where you would be more resistant to somebody trying to promote the culture in your land. But they do have a religious resistance conversion. Oh my goodness. But anyways, gotta continue on with that plot. Alright, I'm friends with the fat man. I like how you call him the fat man. Because he has drugged himself into a stupor. And once we get that Rusta, or whatever is the Tokharian term for kingdom, this is gonna be a messy succession, but I'm starting to think that the one who I was championing for is starting to be a disappointment for me as far as negative traits is concerned. See, lowered learning, lower stewardship, but he's great on diplomacy but bad at everything else. That's why I feel like he's a big old disappointment for a genius and rather go for somebody else. Whereas he's more virtuous. Wow, minimum battle roll for desert and drylands. Wait a second. Who gets what? Oh no, it's Baruka is the only one that's going to be given away because it's part of Kashgar. And because of my elective, you could say I voted for 2. So he gets everything. Yes, he gets everything except Kashgar. which would be willing to let that go. But if I'm gonna get this land, then that means, well, it's gonna go to the firstborn, because this is not elective. Respected expert. Increasing the size of the siege weapons, since we might go on the offensive. And you better start saving up your money for one last thing. And that is to recruit a dry terrain specialist. No, 4 more months, because we jumped up the progress. 57% chance each month that it'll increase the progress. Okay, now we got another one. Wait 1 more month and we'll get it. Wow, already. Oh, good. Robust has overtaken Spindly. And you name him after me? I like that. Large levies will do, because whenever I will be the ruler of all of the Tarim Basin, those vassals will contribute a lot of levies to me, so there'll be no chance of possible rebellions against me. And that's something I'm trying to go for. Make it least likely. And that's the reason why I said in a previous episode that I should try to be an administrator for the rest of my life. After all my hard work, it's time to finally present the evidence I've come across that I am in fact the rightful ruler, rightful heir to the Vijaya Throne through an old dynastic marriage. Revisma will be nothing more than a simple pretender as long as he stands in my way. So, soon I will rule Vijaya, and this goes against who I am. Big time. And don't give him any money. We're done with that. Don't go to war immediately. Well, let me see. Because I would like to have it for myself. If not, then I guess I'm going to have to fight for it. Doesn't have my icon on it. But here's the problem. Pressed claim. Legally strong. It's not there yet. But first. Finally, okay, here it is. This is registered. Finally, no one can doubt the fact I have a reasonable claim on the Vijaya Throne. While Revisma believes my claim on old dynastic marriage is entirely fabricated. The important matter is he cannot disprove it. He could complain all he wants. It changes nothing. So I have a press claim now. Guilt and shame has been plaguing me as of late. All my sins, my flaws, my failings. These dark thoughts distract me from my responsibilities to keep me awake at night. I feel like I must do something to put an end to this mental anguish. What could possibly help? I don't want to lose a stewardship. But hurting myself would lower my prowess. You have a physician, right? Yes. Anything that lasts will excise my sins. My health is poor now, but I never claimed to expect to live long, but oh, don't worry about it. So, okay now. Now, who's with me? Cannot be forced to join. Do not have a strong hook. Friend? And you? Well, I could set ultimatum 8 months. Well, you got 8 months. If nobody else that wants to join, then you may be free to say so. Don't press demands just yet. Now, find some dirt on these people. You could press it at any time. There, you're feeling fine. It's just I lost a few years of my life now. That lowered my life expectancy. That's what happened now. Mismanaged population. Son of a beeswax. Can't you make things worse around here? Now, let's get the tri-terrain specialist. A high martial commander with a desert warrior train joins the corps. Salgatra de Cas. Open terrain expert. So that's advantage for not only plains, farms, and steppe, which is usual, and due to our tradition, adds a little more advantage to desert and drylands. And now he also has that advantage, which remains the same for desert warrior. So we got a perfect man for the job, even though problem is, well, there are problems. I'll probably hit myself again. Crack. Oh, where whip falls upon my back, the shudder clarity brings. Pain is all I feel, and pain is all in my mind. Crack, crack. Oh, sweet, sweet pain. There you go, that lowered the stress. Hey, physician, I'm hurt again. Can you treat me? Thank you. Does anybody want to join? Doesn't have any allies at the moment. Unfortunately, he's got pikemen. What are the men-at-arms that we should bring out? That's a good counter against pikemen. Armored footmen for spearmen. Yeah, that's it. A little more expensive, but they don't have any terrain advantages as they're just armored footmen. Whereas we still have mountaineers a little bit. Not much, as there's 51 of them left. And there are no mountains in the Tarim Basin. Some hills, but that's up in the north. And they're pretty expensive for upkeep. Keep looking. Good dream. I had a dream where I came into the realm of light, and nothing but light. Light was everywhere, and all I could see. Yet this does not frighten me. Everything else, I felt at peace with the cosmos. After I woke up, the feeling of serenity had stayed with me for the rest of the day. I feel invigorated and at ease. Good household savings. Alright. Keep increasing the size then. And you probably want to start saving up money, you know, build up your war chest before you can get to that demand. Oh, my friend died. Say, would you like to be a friend with me? It's gonna take some time. Oh wow. An envoy arrived from Vimsa today, covered by a large entourage. Says he wishes me a large troop of skilled entertainers slaves from Kuśiññe. These include musicians, dancers, acrobats, and even beautiful slaves and courtesans. Kuśiññe is famous as a city of pleasure and leisure. So now I can adopt the skilled entertainers in this entourage. Guilds of skilled people are common across the prosperous lands of Eurasia and the so-called Silk Road, as they demonstrate their wealth, status, and authority just like ruler Visma. I am, of course, flattered by such a gift, and these Kuśiññe entertainers become a valued part of my court, ready to provide entertainment to my courtiers and guests at a moment's notice. What a marvelous and magnificent gift! Why, thank you very much. So I get these. Nice. I used to give them Kuśiññe entertainers all the time, and now he gives them some to me in return. But that will not deter my intent for this next mammoth task. Ooh, who's your lover? I could press any time now, but no. Theravada Holy Order. The Chosen of Ashoka has been established. Way down there in Lanka. That's good to know. Let us pray. They're still spreading that culture, but soon that will end. It's because of her. While in a leisure stroll, the crowded particular merchant stands up in the regular hustle bustle of the street. Greetings, my lord. I have exquisite assorted amount of wares, if my lord has the coin. As I appeared in the myriad of goods in the stall, I could hear Bata Kuri Puryat murmur. The etchings of the piece must be real, and quite valuable too, he glances at me with a triumphant smile. I believe this piece should be the more lucrative choice. God dang it! Always happens to me. Once or past the next two stalls, but that was an interesting display for certain. I'm not quite sure what it was, my lord, but I'm sure the merchant got what he wanted. He starts strolling ahead, marking the end of the conversation. Decorated dragon figurine. Masterwork trinket. That's actually pretty good, actually. Small, brilliant gemstones native to Crow-Ran. It's merely a test. I got what I wanted. He wasn't quite convinced. Oh, Dharma. You could have been the one, but I'm sorry that I neglected you. I deeply apologize. Had I known sooner. Had I known sooner. But for now, just raise a little money, build up a war chest, and hopefully the war that will fight against them will be short. Good day. So yeah, that is the reason why the case is stronger to go for the Rustan now, rather than, oh, just be content with what it has. And remember, this is in response to the of resisting against cultural assimilation, against the Kuśiññe, that hybrid culture there's, and this is our response to it. We're fighting back, and we will promote our original culture into the lands that are traditionally inhabited by our people. We will not impose to the lands where the Saka used to live in. We will not do that. Nor we would try to force everybody to convert to Theravada Buddhism rather than try to do that to the Mahayana. We do not want to do that, because that wasn't our intent, and it'll never be. Everybody ready? Remember, it's only if you're a dwarf of a hostile faith you need to spend your fighting. Which they have armored horsemen a little, and Kandayats, which are Indian heavy infantry, which specialize in jungle warfare, in addition to fighting against light cavalry and spearmen. So, he hasn't married anybody yet, but I do know that in future this upcoming war could be ugly, but we hope that the combined strength of my military and the Chinese, and as well as them, will probably convince him to step down. But knowing him, I think he'd be willing to fight. Oh. Doesn't like the Liege, huh? Everybody wants the damn throne of somebody's, but tell you what, let's wait a few more months and then we'll start. So again, preparing for a possible war. If war is indeed a real possibility, then I feel that this is going to be bad economically. Living healthy. Thank you. Giving me a slight extension of my life. It's an unusual looking name. And we don't know how long the war will take. That's the reason why we're saving up the money. Sorati Kanadiga. Tell you what, we'll start the war in the spring. He's probably got enough money to hire mercenaries himself. don't think they're going to go for independence, but should go for chains of loyalty. In another 2 years' time, go for likable, for direct vassal opinion. So that way they'll respect you a little more. As you are a man of high diplomacy, even if you were to have that, I guess you could say, hostile takeover, I think they'll still respect you. After all, we're all Buddhists, but different school of thought, basically. Now, wait till spring. Start the war in spring. To know that. That's it. Come back. Unexpected praise. I don't say this enough, but I think you're doing a good job as a Yapko kid tells you one day. We were just taking a walk in the garden. Probably isn't an easy thing, having to worry about so many problems every day. Just know that you're doing better than you think. Thank you. I appreciate it, actually. March 1st. Today's the day. He's gone for authority. Well, remember, he gets to keep his land. He can keep it on that side of the realm, whereas I have mine. It's just we are sick and tired of you spreading that hybrid culture of yours into our traditional lands. And that is the reason why this is happening. This is in response to it rather than anything else. We have no ill will against you. We are just simply telling you to stop spreading to that culture of yours into my lands only because of one minor but important difference. You're dryland dwellers. We are warriors of the dry. That is the main difference between us. Although I appreciate you being of expert arts and all that. And you know, soon, he doesn't get to have this royal court anymore. And I get to have my own, once this is all said and done. How much? 63. Yeah, because I find this rather important to me. Don't repair to this yet. You're still good. No. Don't declare war. We have a much stronger military power. So now the question is, will he surrender that title to me, or will there be war? Nobody else will join except for Kashgar, because we're allies and they'll most likely join our cause, which would make our job easier. And if it gets ugly, we'll call the Chinese in. So, the faction to install Yapgol Siddhartha of Kuran on the Kotani throne will send an ultimatum to Rev Visma of the Vijaya Rusta. If he accepts, all the faction's demands will be fulfilled. If he does not, the faction will start a civil war against him. And of course, a civil war is a war where one or more vassals or counties rise in revolt against their liege. They are most commonly a result of a faction whose demands have not been met. Losing a civil war often has consequences that are more severe than the original demands of the rebelling faction. Well, what do you say? We have allies. You do not have the strength to take us all on. We are well prepared and well trained in desert warfare, something that you are not the masters of, despite the fact that you lived there all your lives. The time for the longest ruling dynasty in history to rule that part of the land is coming to an end. What do you say? Claim and demands are refused. Your claim on my town is no more real than the stories we tell children at night. No matter how many misguided fools you have gathered to help carry out your scheme, I will not bend to such a collection of dung. I'd rather die than see my birthright fall to someone so low. Of course you realize this means war. So you will not join. You remain a loyalist. Okay then. Gather up, everybody. This is their whole army. Also bearing in mind, we gave them a lot of taxes, you know, because our feudal contract says high taxes towards him, and we gave him plenty of levy contributions. Well, now he doesn't have as much, but he might be bolstered by mercenaries. And he is leading an army, in which he does have some advantage. Tell you what, split off new army. These camels will go there. Head to them. I'm technically the best commander out of all of us, but I have no experience for such things. But I don't want to risk my life out there. No, not in the mood. So we're only sending our camels to there. Mixed units will remain, including some of our best fighters. And the siege weapons will go with it. So this is probably my part of the deal. Since he's planning on going that way, we are going to be ones on defend on the northern front. Southern front will be the offensive. Take Kamadana, then Keria, and then you will take Bogavlik, and then Havamna itself. May begin your offensive operation here, while you two are going to be more on defense. Position yourself in Kuśiññe. Let them come to Baruka. Because when they get to Baruka, we would have some advantage for this. I will remain at court. I will not be leading the troops. No, not willing to risk my life out there. Just disrespected, he brought mercenaries. It's the Kashmiri band of Gilgit, led by Captain Bahadur Singh, who is a dwarf and a jungle stalker, which does no good here. But they do have these Indian archers, who also specialize in forest and jungle warfare, but it'll do no good here. At least the deficit that we're getting due to having all the armies raised isn't as bad as it seems. And look, raiders. Kashmir boat raiders. because they want some people to sacrifice. They're probably going to deal with them first to stall them. Moved by my tribulations. Remoko's has offered me his counsel and aid on many occasions, hoping to alleviate the burden of my duties. However, some cities attachments have incurred the ire of Remoka Arjuna. Seems that they cannot be trusted. This is merely a ploy to exploit you, my liege. Can the three of us not find common ground? Managed to reconcile the two. Love you, older brother. Did a very well job. You'll have to do. I think you may want to get down here and reinforce us. Crud. "5 years. Do not fret. Well, Desert Commander is gone. Ah, screw it. I'll lead. And get my nephew over here. He will be here in 6 months. We don't got 6 months. That'll slow them down a little, but they're coming up. No buildings to speak of. They got still some time to go. Normal fully stocked crud. Don't have any organizers, do we? Oh no, this is the guy we're looking for. He's the Desert Commander. No, we don't have any organizers. In this case, he needs to command this one and get down here. Got 4 months and they'll be here in 4 months, so I think we'll have to back away. Get away from there. Wait for reinforcements. Can't do it here. Remember, it's only 4 obstacles. This Kuśiññe here, Kuśiññe there, and these 2, then that's it. Move up. We have backup now, so let's restart this siege. The issue with that is we could not, get these effects down much faster, despite the increased number of the siege weapons. It'll probably convince them to go the long way round towards Baruka, but this opens the door for us. Move ahead. Actually, no. Don't go that way. Because it's winter out, and wait for this territory to be occupied. 7 months he's going to be out of money. I'm sure he'll pay money. Alright, move on. As much as we would like to go the long way around, but that's too dangerous. So that means it'll be 8 months till Baruka, where we won't engage the enemy there. Unless they change their mind again. That's the problem regarding combat in the Tarim Basin. There's only two ways. One way. No shortcuts. No room to maneuver in the southern path, whereas there is some room to maneuver in the northern path. So yeah, basically from Narubo to Keria are the areas you cannot maneuver over. And it would take an extremely long way around to get to there if you're looking for a shortcut. But in the northern path there are no shortcuts because this leads all the way into Fergana, then you go through there. See? It's Oasis, so you better get there fast. It'll be there in 4 months, you'll be there in 4 months, so that area is gonna fall. But the chances are even, they say. Begin our siege at Keria here. Remember, we're looking to take this, take that down, which is also the home of the Jade mining settlement. Too late for us. Bastards. Can't catch them that far. Wow, you do very well. And you know it's winter out right now. We need a man like him in our ranks. He needs to rendezvous. Okay, tell you what. Some money for the war effort. Head back to Kamadana. Let him try to come back here. Now that area has a defender's advantage. This one they put some money into it. Sorry, friend. Now. You are to meet up with, you are to meet up with the main, Siege, which has mixed units, bearing that in mind. Because they're likely going to be heading back here. We're only falling back a bit just to let them try to retake that area, and then we'll fight them. Even though this is probably a bad option because of the lack of sufficient men-at-arms for the job. You're fine. Stop worrying about yourself. No, I must lead. Now, position here. Actually, no, stay here for a bit. Supplies. Will they continue? Yes, they will. They will try to retake this area, and we will meet them out there. But I fear it might be too late. But you know what? Go for it. Surround them. We will engage the enemy out there. Men-at-arms full. Let them try to take this, and then we'll move in. At least I'll be likable whenever I become the undisputed ruler of the entire Silk Roads. Soon we're gonna have them surrounded, and they're gonna have no way out. So, again, you'll probably lose, but at least we'll be there in 3 months. Depends, of course. Whereas you'll be there in 5 months. Move, move, move. I don't care how, but we're gonna have to get in there. Even if we have a much big disadvantage due to more commander traits, higher quality and more men-at-arms counter, as we just have mixed units, and we're relying on Tashi to do the fight, and I'm the only one who has the best advantage of the commanders. Chances are even. We'll be there in 13 days, but I hope it doesn't hit this, because this is gonna lower that a bit more. Whereas the real army is still on their way, but they don't want to. But it won't arrive here till 3 months, so we have to fight just to put a stop to it. Imposter. Recently, I feel like I'm not worthy of the Ypkonian of Notable. Do other rulers doubt themselves? I doubt myself. I try to be a good, humble Yapko, but it feels like my every action reeks of pride. Others, my station lives so modesty. And I've seen a flaunt my magnificent reach opportunity, and I cannot stand it. Damn this universe of raising ones, of course, to me at such heights. When will combat begin? 10 days. I don't think I would want to wound myself. Just say I'm just as good as the rest. Stalemate. Okay, good. We will engage in combat. But we will try to fight as... try to take as... casualties of the house as much as we can. You know my friends out there, right? And they chose a dwarf to be their commander. He's an expert on jungle warfare, but that will not do any good around here. We're taking more casualties than they are because they got more men-at-arms counter. God, that was ugly. But our sacrifice will not be in vain. We lost a lot, but I lost some. We'll take Havana still. But we'll begin our siege of Havana soon. You go after the enemy army. You're a desert expert. Let's get to work on it. You know, we're gonna take more casualties for this. But chances are even. Six months. Hey. Send Atashi over to the other army. Transferring. Since this army's damaged goods. You got 4 months. Go forth, my heroes. This will take a while. I am known as a deeply pious man. Surely my devotion to Siddhartha should be good for some in this life too, and not only the next. There are a number of people who would do well to be reminded of one of the Enlightened's good graces. I've been too lenient with the temple this year. Might need some mercenaries, in case things get ugly around here. It'll likely be this. Yeah, when that time is right. So hold your position out here. Let them take casualties with small attrition, as they would besiege this area, while we will recover out here nicely. And I don't know when our Tash will get here to reinforce, to put more of an effort to fight against those guys. So we have to take Havana immediately, while we've been cut off. It's just a breach. It's time for your Mongol lesson. I wake up in sweat after a grueling nightmare where an owl is constantly following me, testing my knowledge in the Mongol language. A symbol of wisdom in some cultures, the fettered fiend was stalking throughout the night, and I dread disappointing it. Perhaps there's such thing as too much knowledge, and this dream is over all the stress in keeping my skills sharp. This cannot go on. So I'm forgetting that language. They're on the run. Oh no, you don't. They want to go out into to non-normal country. We're not gonna let those bastards leave. You're the man with the desert advantage. And Oasis as well. In particular, it's Oasis war there. You're going nowhere. 2, 1. Battle begins. The rest of the men will be there in 21 days. While in 40 days, Havamna will fall. Finally. May not have the Tashi. We killed one of them. Plus, that's Visma himself. Killed another one of their Bagalagva. Bagalagva. Killed another one of them. The rest are here. Right, well done, boys. Welcome back. Move on. Did not capture one of his heirs. You know, he doesn't have one, but he's currently betrothed to one. Kinswoman. But you still gotta take this if you want to have full control of Havana. This is partial control. Health is still fine. I have a feeling that I'm not going to rule long once I finally become the undisputed ruler here. Whoa there. Pay up that ransom before she dies. We cook on him. Okay, good. Might need it. Might be useful for me. One day. In post-war. They're still retreating. Damn it, folks. We have taken a big pile of loot here. Only because this is where the jade comes from. It's 3 years, but still ongoing. You'll do the bulk of the fighting. Chase them down while we will siege the next area. Kasharo Tomoko. %. We're gonna keep chasing it down, so head to Shokuka. We know where you're going. You do not fool us. We're gonna hunt you down. Even though we're moving a big body of troops over. So they'll take a while. Going through Saka. This place is about to fall, which will be the end of this conflict. Not quite, but great loot we're getting. chase them down. I already have a hook on him. Just curious regarding whose Liege it is, since everybody's damn related to one another. There we go. One second. We could definitely use the money. I believe this belongs to you too. And a hook on you too, but even though you do serve him, which means in turn you would be serving him instead of me. It's gonna be all money. We can't get favor of a vassal. That'll be coming in the future. For 2 years. Huh. Do you care? Yes, they do. Huh. Shanaman. Not too special. You already have a hook favor on him. So, likely headed for Baruka. Well, we'll soon be getting our siege to this one last place. Another great fighter. But that man is dull-minded. But, hey, he only understands the sword, and that's all that matters. We took a river crossing, but we don't give a care. Oh my goodness. He's not murdered. He was killed in action. Unless... But then again, I would say, since it's like he's been murdered. But I believe the correct way of saying it from a Buddhist perspective is war is murder. Truthfully, it is a tragic thing about warfare. From a Buddhist standpoint, this is a fight for the throne and all that. And yes, we have been defeated once in a battle, and we have not been defeated since. But there are some things that did cost some of the good fighting men their lives, such as Karakata here. He did not deserve this. Life's never been easy. It feels like the loss of my son has pushed me over the edge. I still remember him as a baby, so tiny, so fragile. Despite that, he survived growing older until now, when he suddenly stopped. I had so many hopes for his future, so many things I wished to see, which now can never come to pass. He was 33. He was my third eldest son. He was one of the... I mean, yeah, he was callous and arrogant. I mean, he was a bit contradictory, but he was possessed. Something must have happened to him in his point of his life. But he did have the robustry, which he did have the strength to serve in the army, but now he's gone. don't think that's wise. It is hard, but Valar Brava can help me get through this. Manage grief. Frozen grief is bad, but manage it. Oh God. Killed my friend. How much more misery can I take? My son died, and I learned how to cope. And now my friend died during the last battle in Baruka. War is tragic. This is why we do not typically see large-scale combat in the Tarim Basin in both north and south. But south, getting the worst of it regarding occupation. The war lasted 4 years. So, I do know that Visma will be my vassal, even though, yes, we fought and bled, and some died, including my son and my friends. But at least Kashgar was untouched by the ravages of war, knowing my son will inherit that area one day, as we will enforce the demands here. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it started from the 6th of March, 1013, and it ended on the 16th of April, 1017. Peace be with you, O much grateful than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I'll comply with your demands. So I got the Vijaya Throne, in which we're now known as the Lanti. Lanti is a Tocharian word for king, I believe. Yes. These two are my main vassals from that side here. But we only did this as a response to resistance towards cultural assimilation. And we're both a xenophilic people. We had no ill will towards foreigners between one another. And yeah, it's just my attitude. It has quite changed. So be it. And if you want to be on the council, I'll find you a position. Okay, just 2 days passed. So now here it is. It is now the Lantuñe of Khotan, or which would also be known as the Croran Lantuñe. And this will remain our capital because it's where we come from. The lands he can keep. And we will use that for to increase tax a little, because he has access to the jade mines and that gives him a lot of income, and we want that share of that income. So it's high taxes. And if you want to be in the council, be my guest. There's room for improvement. Because after all, if you wish to be an overseer, that would increase his martial skill a little bit more and all that. And yes, the culture did even spread to Kushi, so this means now the cultural assimilation portion of him promoting that culture here is now officially over. And the time to rebuild begins. From there to there to there to Nali. Reintroduce our culture. which has got plenty of work to do. Fortunately, we do have someone who is more skilled in that one. And as well as plenty of money to spend. But I have a severe health penalty because of the stress, which we'll get to work on lowering the stress, all among other things. As we will leave you with this episode. This is what our royal court looks like now. And we got 13 new court artifacts that we have inherited from the previous owner. So we just moved it from Havamna and to Kroran. So I'll figure, where does all these go? But again, we'll do all that in the next episode, and we'll hold our first court and all that and more, as well as reinforce relations to Silk Road communities. We got plenty of money to spend for post-war circumstances and all that. But do not worry. We will work together. We will do better. And let us hope that there will be no more bloodshed in the sands of Kroran, to Havamna, to Kashgar, to Kucha, all of that. Let there be no more infighting under my watch. Because I gotta reduce my stress and hopefully live long enough to be a good administrator. Set a good example to what it is to be a great ruler. And as well as who's in the line of succession and all that, that we may have to deal with next in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.